Hello everyone, and welcome to Hyperanalyzing MSI, the series where I discuss the biggest moments from MSI and give attention to the tiniest details that can decide the outcome of a game. This week we will look at some plays from the 2022 MSI group stage. G2 pulled off this clutch-based defense against Evil Geniuses.
Is EG going to look to take down this mid inhib? Should be able to get it here. The Baron Cannons are going to have enough. There's a good sleep on the Targamas, but they are going to go for it! No, they are! Vulcan dives in, but he whiffs completely. And now G2 are going to find the counterpunch. Danny is going to get jumped off an Impact. It's ripping through the rest of G2! Impact is trying to carry the team over the finish line. And Blacket's going to be the next target. They take him down. Inspired, though, now the only one left alive. And G2 are going to get an ace, I think. Yeah, Broken Blade's got it. Inspired's dead.
EG pushes mid lane with the Baron buff, likely looking to take the mid inhib. Jojopyun lands a great sleep onto Flakked, who is the primary threat on G2, and EG start positioning for an engage. It is worth noting that Flakked has a Guardian Angel, which he just bought less than 10 seconds prior, and assuming that gets popped, he will have flash and ult available when he revives. However, EG has a little bit of hesitation and miscommunication on this engage. Vulcan is hesitant to pop the quickness, which briefly delays his engage, while Danny wakes Flakked with a Mystic Shot. Danny does chunk half of Flackett's health, but this allows Flakked to flash away from Vulcan, preventing EG from even getting his Guardian Angel off in the initial engage. Vulcan ends up falling first, but Flakked does have to play fairly defensively due to his low health bar. Inspired uses the Flag and Drag to try stopping G2 from diving the EG backline, but he misses everyone while also putting himself in a spot where he cannot contribute to the fight. From here, this fight becomes a battle of which top laner carries harder. On one side of the fight, Broken Blade uses Hookshot to dive Danny, even following his Arcane Shift with Wall Dive. Danny buys some time with a stopwatch, but Broken Blade's pressure prevents both Danny and Inspired from helping the rest of their team, and Broken Blade secures his first kill when Danny's stasis ends. On the other side of the fight, Impact finishes off Caps, then turns to finally proc Flackett's GA before also quickly taking down Jankos. After the Guardian Angel revive, Flakked builds some space with his ult and is able to do decent damage to Impact, but he does get chased down and finished off by Inspired. Now the two top laners finally meet, but Broken Blade does something really clever before they do. After killing Danny, he uses the first empowered auto attack from his Q on a minion. This allows him to ready the second and even more damaging part of his Q as he makes his way towards Impact. Broken Blade stuns Impact with Wall Dive, and having already prepared the recast of the Q, he deletes Impact in one hit. This secures the fight win, as Inspired has no chance to outdamage Broken Blade, who picks up a triple kill as G2 start to reclaim control in this game. In another close game between the same two teams, G2 made this sudden engage for a game-winning teamfight.
Ping's coming out.
So what is the decision for Jankos? Using the Hex Gate to get back out onto the map. Double sweeper.
Targamas going to face checks. A couple of auto attacks from Danny is enough to chunk him down. Ward goes in, Jankos looking to engage, cancels them as well. They're just trying to kill Danny. Vulcan with a great devour, just in time. But here come the rest of G2. Danny not able to get away. And that's the wombo, it's the combos you'll see today. Flash, Moonfall, Danny dies!
Wow, that was the wombo combo!
With the Elder Drake spawning in under 30 seconds, G2 takes a late reset using the Hex Gates to quickly return, but EG claims total control of the river. Targamas is able to get a control ward down for some vision over the river entrance, and despite still having incredibly limited vision, Jankos decides that he has all the information he needs, flashing over the wall, dashing onto Danny and hitting 2 with Moonfall. This engage happens so fast that Vulcan is unable to react with Devour before the EG bot lane duo gets hit by the Diana, Yasuo, and Senna ultimates. Vulcan does devour Danny after the combo and uses Thick Skin to buy some time, but EG is already in a bad spot. The real unsung hero of this fight is actually Targamas. Not only does he get the crucial ward down, but his depth charge knocks at both Jojopyun and Inspired on one side of the fight before he turns his attention to the other side of the fight, where he lands a big dredge line onto Danny just after he exits from Vulcan's Devour. The kill on Danny essentially secures the fight win for G2, with Broken Blade and Flakked tearing through the health bars of the remaining EG players. Once again, Broken Blade picks up a triple kill against EG, and G2 push down mid lane for another win. PSG Talon found an incredible fight against the Red Canids in the Dragon Pit.
And Red will start up the Dragon once more, but this vision target is fantastic because it just shows you just how hard it is for either side to really go for this. Here we go. Dragon down to 2000 HP. They flash in with Juhan. There's the Shadow Surge. He gets on the backside. It is secure for the side of Red, but they've already got 2 kills for the Vex. They're going to be able to absolutely clean this fight. Triple kill for Bay.
Both teams posture around the dragon, and it's the Red Canids who start it up. The PSG players enter the river from 3 different angles, and basically all 5 of them ult at the same time. Juhan hops over the wall into the Dragon Pit but doesn't go for the steal, instead focusing on the fight. This gives the dragon over to the red cannons uncontested, but the fight is more important anyway. Juhan flashes onto Teton and ults, forcing Teton to Arcane Shift away. From the left side of the river, Kaiwing flashes forward and his Solar Flare forces both Grevthar and Teton to flash away, while Unified ults in to start doing damage. Meanwhile, both Hanabi and Bei use their ultimates from downriver. Bei connects Shadow Surge with Guigo and dives in as Hanabi lines up Call of the Forge God to knock up 3, including Grevthar and Teton, who no longer have their flashes. Red cannons just get overwhelmed by the number of ultimates thrown in their direction, and PSG start to clean up the fight. Bei picks up the first 2 kills and uses the reset of Shadow Surge to chase down Teton while the rest of PSG clean up in the river. PSG do give up the dragon, but the decision to focus on the fight gives them a clean ace and the Baron instead. Saigon Buffalo and Detonation Focus Me traded blows in this crazy teamfight.
Yeah, but those camps will help, and ultimately Steel trying to go for zone. Steel doesn't find anything. Oh, big play.
Okay, they're going in onto Unipon, and this is what they can do to the immobile carries of Dead FM. It is just so difficult for them to handle that, as a big laser is going to hit Froggy, though. As Yarong says, I can do some big damage myself, as the exhaust will come in onto Evie, but he's still going onto Shogun, and he will shut him down for a huge amount of gold. As Steel is going 1v2 on the backside as well. Steel on Taki, everybody else on Osmond. As Osmond kills 2 of them. How is he able to do this on the Gwen? Does he have the sustain? No, he does not. Is the alley-oop.
This fight starts with Yutapon getting dove and killed by Binjay and Shogun. Yaharong teleports in response, and Froggy tries to dive him between 2 towers, but he gets hit by the Vel'Koz knockup and burned down with Lightborn Disintegration Ray. From here, 2 separate fights start. By the Raptor Pit, Evie chases down Shogun, surviving with Undying Rage. He gets exhausted and has to chase Shogun over the wall, but Evie is still able to get the kill. This leaves Hosmid in a 1v2, and he is able to force his stopwatch out of Yaharong. All of Harp's abilities are on cooldown, and he doesn't want to let Hosmid heal by hitting him, so he starts to back away. However, Hosmid is able to cut through both Yaharong and Evie with Snip Snip plus 1 more auto attack, and with the healing from Riftmaker and Conqueror, Hosmid stays alive. Meanwhile, Steel is winning a 1v2 in the river against Binjay and Taki. He knocks both of them up with both charges of his ultimate and is able to take down Binjay. Taki is almost able to trade the kill back, but Steel out-heals Taki's damage thanks to Divine Sunderer and Triumph, and he is able to get the kill against Taki as well. Now there are just 3 players still alive, and Steel starts heading towards the fight between Hosmid and Harp. With Harp's abilities coming off cooldown, he is able to knock up Hosmid and line up for a headbutt to send Hosmid right into Steel, who gets the triple kill to finish this crazy fight. Saigon Buffalo would go on to win that game with this fight.
Saigon Buffalo do not call their bluff, and they're like, okay, that's an inhibitor down now.
Oh, look, the flank angles.
Oh, BJ, he's got that proto rocket belt looking at coming from the side, but Harp is able to tag him so well. He's pulled in to Froggy as Emmy's getting low, but Steel is in the back line. He takes out Froggy, and now a huge re-engage does come in from Taki and BJ. They create the front line as now Shogun and Hosmid are going wild in the backside of this fight. That is going to be the end of that as the triple comes in for the Kaisa.
To start this play, Evie pops Ghost to threaten Saigon Buffalo away from their own base, and this gives DFM the mid inhibitor. As DFM back away from the base, Binjay uses the bottom Hex Gate in an attempt to flank them. Harp turns to engage onto Binjay, but with Hosmid leading the rest of his team into the jungle entrance, it is too dangerous for the rest of DFM to follow Harp's engage. Harp is able to stun Binjay, and there would be great follow-up with Evie dashing through the wall and Yutapon firing a Calibrum shot, but Froggy saves him with the Kalista ultimate. Evie gets chunked really low and burns Undying Rage, although he would not have actually died from that damage. Steel is able to dive and kill Froggy, but Binjay sees his chance to make a big play off of the Kalista ultimate. He flies towards the grouped up DFM backline, but doesn't actually get to the other side of the wall with the Kalista ultimate. He does still get close enough to dash to Harp and land Moonfall on 3, which is quickly followed up by Taki with a flash Facebreaker. Steel has nowhere left to run on the other side of the wall and ends up flashing just to get killed by Taki, and a big haymaker through 3 enemies gives Taki a second kill. Shogun ults in to start cleaning up the rest of the fight, picking up the final 3 kills and securing the win for Saigon Buffalo in this 62 kill game against DFM. Gala picked up the first pentakill of this year's MSI tournament as Kaisa.
Actually nicely done for Tutan as well, like dodging the last wild card, like giving him enough time for the stasis to wear up and get the kill. Obviously they give Xiaohu time to walk forward and kill you anyway, so it was always going to be a trade, but a dragon fight has started. Third dragon available here for RNG. Jojo again in trouble. He's going to go down to Gala, and now Gala's going to keep on going. Bing with the wraparound, but KI over the top, and that's 2 kills for Waves. The dragon is one of them. Gala going to pick up yet another kill. It's a double, it's a triple, is it a quadra, is it a penta? Gala's going to get it again! The penta kill for Gala!
Red cannons start at the dragon as both teams prepare for a 5v5, with Bin teleporting in from top lane. Jojo and Ming engage onto each other at the same time with Zenith Blade and Dredgeland respectively, and they both get Chain CC'd and trade their lives. Seeing as Gala picks up the pentakill, let's follow him in this fight. He starts off on the top side of the river, where he picks up that first kill against Jojo and cleanses the fear from Grevthar's Vex. Gala then ults into the Dragon Pit so that he can finish off Grevthar for the second kill. Red cannons try to dive Gala, who now has no escape from the Dragon Pit. Gala is able to avoid a Dredgeline from the Viego transformed into Nautilus, and Wei has an incredible kick onto Guigo that keeps both of the diving enemies away from his AD carry. That kick gets followed up with a gold card and Everfrost from Xiaohu, providing Gala with plenty of safety as he fights his way out of the Dragon Pit, picking up 2 more kills before chasing down Teton. Gala's team allows him to claim the final kill and pick up the first official pentakill of the tournament. Thank you for watching Hyperanalyzing MSI. Hit subscribe and come back next week for my analysis of the Rumble stage.